Yeah, I came in with the saw. Ooh, yeah, I came in with the saw. Bitch, I play red raw. Yeah, bitch, I play red raw. Yeah, I came in with the saw. Ooh, yeah, I came in with the saw. Bitch, I play red raw. Yeah, bitch, I play red raw. Yeah.
Hello, and welcome into yet another special episode of Into the Dark. I just shitted on my wife's bed yesterday to assert my dominance. When you think about fictional media with powerful characters, what are you thinking of? The three that would come in someone's mind are naturally comics, manga, and video games. But what about another media? What about movies? Horror movies? Is there any strong character there? Can a horror character destroy a planet? Actually, yes. But you saw the thumbnail, didn't you? You know who we're gonna discuss about today. Can Freddy Krueger, the first user of domain expansion, survive the verse of Jujutsu Kaisen? But first, we have to thank the sponsor of today, who is actually fucking nobody anyway. Freddy has three forms: real world, dream world or domain expansion, and Necronomicon. While mainly staying in the dream world, he can go to the real world by himself through various means. And yes, I include comics. Freddy can materialize himself in the physical plane by one of those two means. One is possession, and the other is being dragged out of the dream world, or just stepping out by himself. And I'm bringing that up because if we talked about the dream world first, the verse wouldn't survive. So can Freddy Krueger survive the verse by only having his physical plane form? The short answer is no. But let's see why he cannot survive without domain expansion. First, we're gonna see the previous methods and understand why that wouldn't get him very far. First method is when he turned into a caterpillar and take control of your body by entering you.
Pause.
And this method could give him some mean to survive. At least if he does it on the right person. Because I don't need to explain why a demon in the body of a regular fucking dude wouldn't survive a cursed spirit.
Now, come on!
Let me handle this, bitch.
But let's say he take the body of a sorcerer, right? Well, he's getting jumped on.
Get him up, let him get up, let him get up, let him get up. Fight back, nigga! Fight back! Fight back!
Unskilled in hand combat, even if the sorcerer he took the body of has a cursed technique. He would survive for a while, but I believe a finger beer would kill him due to his lack of cursed technique understanding. So it highly depends on who or what he take control of. Next method is, well, remember how the leprechaun can just burst out of your penis? Well, imagine a full-grown man bursting out of you, using you as a gate between the dream world and the real world.
Love. Let me tell you how much I've come to love you since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits in wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. If the word love was engraved on each nanoangstrom of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal 1/1 billionth of the love I feel for you at this micro instant. Love! Love!
I just busted right inside him.
By using that method, Freddy doesn't take control of someone, but genuinely came out as himself. So how strong is Freddy Krueger in the real world? Let's do some power scaling here. But before that, I wanted to say that this method would kill most sorcerer without reverse curse technique. And also, does anyone wonder what would happen if he did that on Gojo while Infinity is on? But anyway, during his fight against Jason, Freddy showed some relativity to his undead opponent. He even showed better stamina overall, since Jason fainted after fighting him. He also took this huge explosion and came back after. Same explosion that can be scaled to small building level, and due to Jason's strength not instantly killing him, he would get into the wall level durability and attack potency to small building level due to the explosion. Now, most people assume, and yes, I said assume, that this motherfucker is just a normal human. But I have a question for those people. Motherfucker, what don't you understand in he is a dream demon? Matter of fact, the world demon alone should make that idiotic brain of yours know that he's not human. Even a koala should know that. But let's say you're right for a moment. And let's take a look at the grade scaling of Jujutsu Kaisen for a moment. Grade 4 mean that you can literally beat it with a wooden bat. Grade 3 mean that if you have a gun you're safe. You know just Blicky can scare a grade 3. Could it be me though? Grade 2 mean a shotgun would make it a close call. Grade 1 mean even a tank isn't enough, and special grade mean you're cooked. Now, I want you to stop eating whatever you're eating right now, okay? You stopped eating. Great, now focus on even a tank isn't enough. Now, you're possibly thinking, there's no way this motherfucker got resurrected into the real world and got shot at point blank range by a tank in the White House just to instantly get up after. Well, the comics Nightmare Warriors exist. So Freddy Krueger scale to grade 1, I guess. This also up his attack potency and durability to building level. So no, a Navy SEALs can't beat Freddy Krueger. Michael Myers can't beat Freddy Krueger. And that girl can't beat Freddy Krueger. Fuck those people and the infographic show, and fuck that webtoon protagonist, because if you actually think she can beat a guy who can do that, you're delusional. Now, I kinda want to talk about his power in the real world. But let's talk about speed before. Freddy has been fighting with Ash Williams, who scaled to supersonic reaction and combat speed due to dodging the shot of his own gun. And that doesn't mean he traveled at the speed of sound. It means he can react to attack that goes at that speed. Now, ability-wise, he keeps some of his dream world power in real world. In the second movie called Freddy's Revenge, he genuinely just crashed through a window and teleport in the floor just to burst out of it. Then he also showed that he could teleport and leave flames behind. This only seems to work on a few miles radius though, and he need to make contact with something to use it.
Where'd he go?
Now let's talk about all the fire bullshit. Now people seems to believe that since he died burned, he's afraid of fire. So why the fuck would he even have fire manipulation as an overall ability? Matter of fact, he's fireproof in the dream world anyway. See how in the dream world he can just set anything he see in fire just with a finger move. He can do that in the real world, and he can manipulate the heat of other fire sources. The funny part about this ability is that it can theoretically bypass the infinity, since the attack just appear on you with no travel, so there's no way to divide it infinitely. But the downside is that it wouldn't do jack shit to Satoru Gojo because of how strong he is. Now, the two last ability of our dream demon is the power to see and interact with spirits, and the power to know the power of everyone in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen via crystal ball before going into the real world. Basically mind reading. And before anyone say anything about it's not in character. He does that in every movie of Screen and before attacking someone. That's how he know their life, past and secrets, so he could 100% do that. Hey, it's Doctor from the future, and I genuinely forgot one power, Type 2 Immortality. Characters with this degree of immortality can indefinitely survive injuries that would otherwise be lethal to a normal person, without needing to heal. This type of immortality can have different levels of effectiveness and can be bypassed, for example, by causing extremely severe wounds or the complete destruction of the body or specific parts of it, such as the head, etc. In Freddy's case, as long as his brain isn't destroyed at work, you can impale him, or even cut his head off and he will still be alive. That power is endurance and doesn't increase his durability. And yes, even after Freddy vs. Jason, his head is still alive. It's not a funny gag or whatever you wanted to call it. So could he survive by being in the real world only? Well, not really. You see episode 1 where Yuji and Megumi fight this huge curse spirit. He would genuinely win if he was at the curse's place due to overall better intelligence, range, speed, and endurance. You see, at this point Yuji and Megumi are not as strong as in the later arcs. Yuji was not the host of Sukuna yet, because in this scenario Freddy has the finger. Not only Freddy is more durable at this point due to the grade 1 scaling and faster due to being relative to Ash Williams, he can also avoid any instance of fight with the two of them by just teleporting away. But if a fight were to start he would win. All he has to do is remotely burn them, and spam teleportation if they get too close. As long as he stays in the building they're gonna keep burning. After all, Freddy got his load of supernatural opponent, fighting with literal dream god and spirit of heavens, and even in character. Freddy showed that he could just use teleportation if a being tried to grab him.
Penny for your thoughts, Chief. Oh, scary.
so it's literally impossible for them to catch him in this battle of attrition. Now, why wouldn't he survive? First of is that if Yuji managed to eat the finger, Sukuna would clap this man.
Pause.
But that wouldn't happen. Satoru Gojo would happen. And when he find out Freddy killed Yuji and Megumi, he would demolish him. And don't even count on teleportation to save him. Freddy wouldn't have time to react because of how fast Gojo is. Gojo upscale people that genuinely create island and mountain. Real world Freddy only scaled to building level with supersonic speed, and this man is island level, and at least 50 times faster than sound. The only thing that would make him survive is tied to immortality, and it's useless because he can't regenerate in the real world, and don't get me started on Hollow Purple. And let's say we put him in the Tokyo vs Kyoto episode. Since everyone at this point speed scaled to subsonic or supersonic plus, and mainly fight in hand to hand, he would take all those people with his range ability, but Inuyamaki would take him down, Panda, Hanami, and Todo would take him down so he wouldn't survive. Freddy in the real world can't even hurt Mahito's soul yet. Focus on the yet, because now we're gonna talk about Freddy's domain expansion, the Dream World.
領域展開
Welcome to my nightmare.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for. This is exactly, I don't mean to sound like Cat Williams, but this is exactly what I've been waiting for.
Freddy was a normal human in the past, at least before getting burned and making a contract with 3 demons. Sounds familiar. Now, for anyone wondering, only the 2010 reboot version of Freddy is a pedophile, not the original one.
Freddy Krueger supposed to be a child molester or a child killer?
Originally, there was a hint of pedophilia. We had a horrible scandal in LA at this time called the McMartin case. It's been made into a phenomenal cable movie on HBO with James Woods. And what really happened was a bipolar mother freaked out, went off her meds, and made up this story about her son being molested because she had been neglecting her son when she went off her meds. And she blamed the daycare center. They wound up arresting 15 grandmothers who'd been working there since the 1940s and putting them in jail for pedophilia. And this was this huge scandal while we were all shooting the movie. And Wes obviously downplayed any hint of that. And he made Freddy's crimes more of a symbolic nature. Child killer. It's very symbolic. Freddy kills children. What are children? Children of the future. Freddy's killing the future. Freddy's killing innocence.
Anyway, once Freddy made the contract, he became a dream demon. The thing is, he doesn't really haunt your dreams, or he lives in your head. Instead, his power works like this. Once you fall asleep, he opens a portal between his domain and your soul. The dream world in itself is a parallel universe to ours where he usually stays alone when he's not killing people. Imagine that he's the host of a Minecraft server, and he gave you a forced invite to join the server once you sleep. Once he activates your main expansion, he can genuinely just imagine anything and it will happen, like Grammy from Bleach. But for the sake of this video, we're only gonna talk about his on-screen abilities, and you see those characters who can go from wall level to literally universal plus level. That's what's gonna happen, and you can't do anything about it. The dream world is at bare minimum a solar system due to all the stars inside it, and at best an infinite universe since Freddy can expand it infinitely, to be clear. This motherfucker can remotely control a universe just by thinking about it. One of his actual feat was launching a house into space in a matter of seconds, which has been calced to mountain level with sub-relativistic attack speed. And he can genuinely control time and trap people in time loops.
Back to the diner. But before she and Dan can get into the truck, they finally catch on to the fact that they're asleep, and Freddy has them running in circles.
Or straight up just conjure missiles that can destroy the planet, and judging by how fast stars are moving in the background. The missile would scale to MFTL speed or massively faster than light. Freddy can talk and perceive space while riding the missile, so you could possibly scale his overall speed to MFTL. The feat in itself isn't showed, but it gets his attack potency into the planetary range, and the fact that he can control time just make the dream world a 4D construct or universal plus. You can also add the fact that he can create multiple planets just by thinking about it, so he can scale to at least planetary, and at best universal plus with MFTL speed and sub-relativistic attack speed. One of his main power is also turning into whatever is in his domain. like a mountain. So let's say he just turned into the moon and beat you up. Most of Jujutsu Kaisen characters can't even survive that. Now, there is a misconception that supposedly states something like, if you're not afraid of Freddy, he can't kill or harm you. Let's prove how it's false since the first movie. Don't worry, I'm not taking 40 minutes to explain that. Okay, so, see this girl. Freddy killed her while he was dragged into the real world. And first things first, Freddy cannot do that in the real world. But the girl he supposedly killed came back at the end conclusion. They're still in the dream world. But it goes more deeper than that. After that, a car stopped by Nancy's house and see those people. All those people in the car are dead, and died earlier in the movie. Glenn died, Tina died, and the car is Freddy. He turned into a car and kidnapped her before killing the girl. So no, Home Alone traps don't work against him, and he just created multiple hyper-realistic illusions to troll Nancy just to play with her. Here's an explanation. Another example is how easy it is for him to hurt a dream god with no fear that can destroy anything in the dream world. So any power he used require no fear now. Let's just see how badly they lose individually to a guy with 8 types of immortality and infinite stamina who doesn't feel pain.
You weren't there. You were never there. No, not when I tried. I mean, you said you would turn on your radio every day at dawn. You said that you would turn on your radio every day at dawn, and you were not there!
I know I said individually, and I meant it. Because even if they all try to jump him, he can put people in different plane of his domain and get them one by one. And to those whole moveset is punching and changing place with staffs. Freddy has showed the fact that he can teleport people in an infinite void just for fun, which basically kills Todo's whole ability. All he has to do after is remotely explode him. It's a no-diff. And you know how Mechamaru has a giant mech. Freddy can basically do the same thing, but he could just clone the robot infinitely until Mechamaru's robot gives up. And finally for Inumaki, he could just turn him into a stone. He no-diff everyone overall.
Am I original?
I know curses don't really sleep, and that will come handy later, but I just wanted to see how they would handle Freddy in the dream world. And it's very bad. Let's start with Mojito. And he doesn't really have a way to hurt Freddy. One of Freddy's ability is mid-godly regeneration or the capacity to regenerate even without his soul. When Freddy's mother absorbed his soul, he regenerated in a few minutes. So idle transfiguration is useless. And some of you may wonder, if Freddy is so strong, why can't he just absorb Jason's soul? And motherfucker, he did. But I wanted to point out that Jason is one of the weakest fictional character I've ever seen anyway. Freddy has a way to kill Mojito, soul absorption, that work even if you aren't willing to give it. That would work on the other curses too, so no diff to. Tagaba's whole power is reality manipulation. If he thinks something is funny, it will happen. Unfortunately, his opponent is himself with darker humor. And no condition to activate his reality manipulation. Takaba also doesn't know how his powers work. And on Freddy's side, his reality manipulation is so cracked that he can directly cast a TV show from the dream world to our own world called Freddy's Nightmare.
No, no, no! Don't be afraid! This time, it isn't one of your nightmares. This one was mine.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
You know, When I told someone Hikari would get no diffed by Dream World Freddy, they answered this, which make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Hikari's whole moveset is sponge, kick, regeneration, and emoting mid-fight, and it isn't even that good when you know that reverse curse technique can't be used if the user's brain is destroyed. Freddy has a sure hit attack of an explosion just appearing on you, and guess what? If it touch Hikari, he's dead due to his brain being destroyed. Either way, it's not like Freddy can't just take his power away, and just before someone bring up how Hikari hit really hard, he has to fight someone who can regenerate from a single drop of blood completely and full soul erasure, and unlike Hikari, Freddy regenerates infinitely and doesn't have a cooldown. But you know what? It's not even about regeneration no more when the guy you're fighting just erased the literal concept of injury inflicted on his person. So not only can he just spam sure hit attacks until Hikari's brain is destroyed, he can also take his power away and has better and longer regeneration. To put it in perspective, one of them is immortal for 4 minutes and 11 seconds. The other not only has 8 types of immortality, but stays immortal all the time. As for Higuruma, if he try to use domain expansion, he's gonna have a fake awakening. A fake awakening is waking up in another dream. Freddy used that to keep his prey alive or to reset the whole dream world. Each time a fake awakening is used, the victim is always gonna wake up somewhere in the dream world with almost no memory. Thus, it cancels any domain expansion. And in case you forgot, he can just send him to space at sub-relativistic speed. That would kill him since nobody in Jujutsu Kaisen can breathe in space. Let's start with Sukuna, and any move he has, except Maharaga won't do anything. Cleave and dismantle. He can phase through them. Fire, he is fireproof. Even if you bring Maharaga in the conversation, he still has the planet-busting nukes and can Loki erase people from existence without problems. And Gojo won't do much either since every move of Freddy bypass infinity. He can just launch or teleport him to space. He can absorb his soul. The whole explosion attack can't be divided by infinity, since it just appears on the target. He can pump so much fat into Gojo's body that he'll explode. Existence erasure is still there, guys. He can remove his physical form and phase through Gojo's infinity. And lastly, he can just use fake awakening in space when Gojo used domain expansion, thus cancelling it. And even if you don't believe Freddy scale to Universal Plus with possibly MFTL speed, well, he still has his power, doesn't he? A speed blitz won't do anything beside getting him teleported into space, because their target has mid-godly regeneration that they can't bypass. Even if they try to speed blitz, all he has to do is think, and they will just stop moving and die. So overall, Freddy Krueger cleared Jujutsu Kaisen since he always stays in the dream world, and has the crystal ball. You thought it was over, didn't you? I guess you never saw this coming. Necronomicon Freddy is from a comics where Freddy fused with a Book of Death, giving him the ability to use every power of his dream world form into the real world, meaning nobody is safe now, not even the disaster curses. But this book is so powerful that it can contain Evil Death Tholhu, who can fight the creator of the universe, and Freddy casually fused with it. Freddy's attack potency would pretty much scale to multiversal, since he can now control the infinite universe of the dream world, and the real world at the same time. That and the fact that he can casually just bend the fabric of both universes' reality to his will. This form will straight up erase Jujutsu Kaisen from history. So yeah, Freddy can survive the verse of Jujutsu Kaisen. Thanks for watching, and if you have something to say, don't forget to comment it. If you appreciate the content, make sure to like and subscribe for more. The Discord is in the description. Until then, I was your host for today, and this was the !! episode of Into the Dark.